Okay, so a couple of months ago, it looks like March of 2024, the New York Times had a story titled, "Why Did This Guy Put a Song About Me on Spotify?" And it's by this like random journalist guy, and he just like stumbled across a song with his name in it, and it says in the song, "Call me," and has a phone number. So he's like, "Well, this is too weird. This is just
That's
too random and too
already
weird."
pretty weird.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got an unusual name. And so he's like, it, and like calls
Barnott
this number.
Klopitsky.
He calls this number, and the dude answers. He's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Oh, hi. I think his name was Brett Martin or something. Like, you said to call me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm sorry, I have no idea who you are." Like, what? Like,
Huh?
what? And he's like, "Oh, well, there was a song." And he's like, "Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah." There's this guy, and the guy's name is Matt Farley.
Mhm.
And he's this dude who just like pumps out like 50 songs a day, and he like references celebrities and
Mm.
specific things that he knows that kids like to talk about, so that specifically like a kid will say a thing and then it will come up on like
Real craftsman.
the Amazon
A
thing
real
like
fucking.
sings, and so the song will start playing when a kid just like says a random thing. Okay, so he's made a career out of this and makes a couple $100,000 a year just
Mm,
like on this gimmick, right?
mm, mm,
And
mm.
when he was talking to the journalist, he's
What
like,
a scion of creativity.
he's like, "Yeah, I think I might remember who you are, but like literally today I wrote 50 songs." Um,
Whoa.
Okay, so fast forward to today when I read a parallel story in the New York Times,
Mhm.
and this is titled, "The Band and the Fans Were Fake. The 10 Million Was Real." Dramatic ass title. But so there's this guy not related to Matt Farley who he's been doing this like legit scam where he has been creating AI generated songs and then creating hundreds or thousands or millions of bots to
Is
listen to the
this
song.
a scam though? As I read the same story and I
Yeah.
kept thinking to myself like, is this really illegal or do they are is this just or is this just upsetting people?
So
like
I
like
want to see how this
you know what I mean?
unfolds. I
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I,
go
I totally do. I want to see how the story is going to unfold. Like, I want to follow it a little bit because, like,
ahead.
as of right now, federal prosecutors charged the dude in North Carolina for, I mean, basically scamming Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon
Okay, okay.
because he is like they're paying him revenue, like real revenue, based on fake listens, and he generated those fake listens with bot activity. And I
But
don't
okay,
know.
and
Yeah,
I think that's like be, I'm so glad you talked through it in a layer because it helped me kind of clarify why I feel so kind of mixed about this because it's like okay, but isn't that a lot of people that are making money from bots and like isn't music kind of subjective? Like I feel like this like weird fuzziness on both sides where I'm like, so he's making AI generated music, which makes him an asshole, but it doesn't, it doesn't certainly doesn't make him a criminal. And then he's farming his Spotify account to make it look like he has a lot of listens, which ostensibly like probably millions of listens are from bots. Billions of
yeah,
listens are maybe from bots on Spotify because at least on my side of like having somewhat of an insight into the music industry, like it's not uncommon, I think, for people to do that to make something look like it's taking off or something's happening with something. So I'm just kind of like, well, you guys are just mad that this guy did it like with his dick out. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I guess a couple of thoughts here. One is that he definitely had the intent, the malicious intent to like defraud these companies effectively, because they have like in this article,
Yeah, fuck
they
those
have
guys.
him quoted as saying to some AI executive that he was working with, quote, "Keep in mind what we're doing musically here. This is not quote music, it's quote instant music." So I mean, dude knew. Like, I mean, clearly he
Mm,
knew, but I mean, he's admitting he knows. He's basically just like
right.
doing a fraud sort of thing. And you know, the prosecutors are all saying like we're going after him because he's taking money away from real artists. That's like the moral,
Mm,
you know, valence they're putting on top of
mm,
this whole thing.
mm,
But
mhm.
you know, he is just like
Moral
it's
valence.
poking
Good.
the
I
giant.
love that.
It's poking the giant of the like
That's
Apple
what it
and
is.
Amazon. You know, you're poking the guys who like
Well, it's because
have
it's so bold-faced, right? Because
yeah,
it's kind of like exploiting these two things that are the thing that's like everyone knows, but it's somewhat unsaid. You know
yes.
what I mean? That like music, the shape of music is changing as we're coming into like some 15th wave of commodifying music, and then on the other side, yeah, man, I don't know. I
Well, so here's the thing that to me is so fascinating, Devin, just to spell it out a little bit more, is that like we're like 6 months apart from that first story about the guy that the New York Times was just praising up and down about how clever he was and how awesome
Mhm.
this is. Oh, he's making all this money. Isn't that so great? And oh, he had a song about me with my which it said call me. Like it's so great. Yay. And then it's like dude's doing the exact same thing, but just like technology advanced in the second
Right,
article. It's the
right,
same fucking
right, right,
scam. He just like
right.
he just added more layers of technology to it and got even kind of more clever and used less human labor. You know, he
He's
didn't
probably the only person that's ever made money off Spotify.
Taylor
He's
Swift
prob
and this guy. Yeah.
he's probably the only one, dude, you know? Like, Jesus.
Shit.
I mean, the conversation it's so funny because the conversation's like, "Oh, is he defraud whatever," and it's like, can't we get back to the main conversation of how Spotify is defrauding artists in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, did this guy actually make a meaningful amount of money from Spotify? He's literally the first person ever.
Yeah. How would you feel about it if this guy was doing like several of these scams all at once, but then like
Mhm.
distributing the money to real artists to
Uh,
take away like the moral angle, and he's like Robin Hood. You know, I would love
how
that so
beautiful
much.
would that be, right? We need one of those. We need like a real S tier criminal.
Yeah, that would be the flex here. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Yay or nay on this guy? Like you're rooting for him. Or you think he's fucking over the little guy, the
I
artist?
know. I think I love it because I think he's exposing this gross underbelly of the way that this thing is working. It's like it's too bold-faced. This is the cycle. The cycle is a lot of people are buying influence and a lot of music is being made with machines, and where do we draw the line? This is a great conversation to have for us on either side of that is like when does music become computer generated? It's
Yes.
largely computer generated now. That's why I have such like mixed feelings about it in general. And on the other side, when is someone defrauding the platform by buying plays at 10,000 or 20,000 just to get a record off the ground, or when they're really just letting it hang, on them? Like,
Okay, so I just looked up the original tweet I saw about this that uh cued me into this article existing. And so I clicked on the comments. Dude, I didn't actually even know this, but like every comment is so for this guy. It's so funny. One guy's
Uh,
like, isn't this exactly the business model of Spotify and every other tech company?
Come
Other
on,
dude,
man.
that's kind of brilliant, ain't gonna lie. I mean, everybody's for him. I'm actually kind of shocked. I thought the haters were
Have
gonna
you
come out. This
noticed,
one guy's
Peter?
like, that's how crypto works. I mean, everybody's for him. It's hilarious.
Have you noticed that? And I think this is very on brand for the pod, but have you noticed in the zeitgeist, which kind of includes, don't you think now that the human zeitgeist includes algorithmic sensitivity? that
It
we're
must.
all that we're all in some degree sensitized to the Facebook algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, the TikTok, the Twitter, but even probably more insidious than that, every shopping platform, like every single thing that you
Hmm.
do digitally is algorithmic. And maybe isn't our kind of intuitive reaching always kind of trying to feel the contours of that algorithm? And as artists we have this, right, and as artists we have this algorithm, we're all desperately trying to like map the contours of the algorithm because it's our success, our very success relies on it. But what I've been finding lately, stay with me, is that I
No,
feel,
I'm just hung up on like how sensual that was. Like, feel the
yeah,
contours
well,
of
because
her.
it is, right? Like we're in this moment where we're obviously going to anthropomorphize our response to this like technological advancement, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely.
we're so I think everybody's developing this organ, this like sense organ for like algorithmic sensitivity. And I
Hmm.
think that all of the major platforms have made huge algorithmic pivots in the last 6 months. And you can feel the discontent fomenting among the proletariat, man. Like the I think I feel a lot of people having resistance towards Twitter right now, a lot of people having resistance towards Instagram and the way that it's showing people things. And I think as these algorithms like grow and change, we're going to go through these, cyclical moments where the algorithm is with the sentiment of the human zeitgeist. And maybe at times where we're in like a phase cancellation where it kind of, you can feel that there's broadly discontent with the algorithmic shape that we're being shown at any given moment. What do you think about all that, Pete?
Boy, yeah, I've never heard of the algorithm being anthropomorphized, although it utterly makes sense. It does make sense because
Right?
you do feel it, man. You
You
feel
do.
it, and you feel it when it
You
changes.
do.
And on Twitter, there's this feature that is it's the For You tab, and then it's the Following
Mhm.
tab, and they both have
Mhm.
different algorithms. Obviously, one
Mhm.
is who you
Mhm.
follow
Mhm.
specifically,
Right.
and man, you feel the algorithm go. "Eh." Like the second you hit
Yeah.
that new tab, it's like, "Eh."
Yeah.
And like, dude, like it doesn't feel good actually. It's so jarring. It's like a very jarring experience. Uh, I don't know. So like that's just my one reference point here. But like,
Yeah, it's like when
yeah,
I'm looking through porn, like, why the fuck would I want to see a guy drilling a hole or so or somebody at a dog show? I'm
you're losing me there, but I feel it.
Yeah, man.
I do want to note
Yeah.
that we are speaking on the day that OpenAI dropped O1, also known as Project Strawberry Q.
Um,
And it is the new AI that can supposedly, they say, think and reason before responding to you. So it's not just going to like spit out the
uh,
first thing. It's going to spit out a thing, keep it in its brain, think about it for a second, and then spit it out. So that's supposedly what's going on here.
the face of the apocalypse is named Strawberry Q.
It's
I
pretty
love
good.
that. It's great.
It's pretty good.
That's fantastic. I had this beautiful moment where I was explaining Chat GPT to my mom because she was like, I really need an accountant. I need a CPA. And I was like, she just doesn't know where to start. She's so confused. And I'm like, well, just ask Chat GPT. And she, well, what's Chat GPT? I'm like, wait, and she's in Montana, you know what I mean? And it
Mhm.
makes total sense for her to not have any frame of reference for Chat GPT. But I think in California, it's been so transformational because everybody knows it's Google on meth.
Yeah.
you know, it's Google with like severe daddy issues and a deep desire to please. You know what I mean? Like, and it was cool kind of being like, oh, go download it, ask it a question. And she's like, oh, well, I was like, yeah, yeah, it's just going to talk to you like a person. Like, it's just going to tell you, it's going to be like a paragraph of sentences that you can just read like you're talking to a person. It's pretty wild, man. We're getting there.
That is a specific thing that is so this has been like such a key component of the technological age is the moment you have to explain the latest thing to your mother. Like
So cute.
I my mom emailed me last month and she was like giddy. Like this is the first time I've copy and pasted a link and I was like, "Oh my
Mm,
God."
mm.
Because she used to describe how to Google something to me or how to look up an article and I was like, "Copy paste, mom." And she finally did it and I was so proud of her.
Dude, they're coming. Man, final piece of comedic techno anecdotal stuff. I got a new laptop
Nice.
and it's from 2019. So it's not new. But do you remember, it was so funny because I'm going through the setup. Do you remember when Touch ID was a thing? It
When
asked
it
me for
first
my
became a thing, you mean?
fingerprint. Yeah,
Yeah.
it asked me for my fingerprint, and it made me immediately realize how, like, I don't know how invasive that felt, because now we just use Face ID for everything. That
Oh, right.
Touch ID just completely disappeared, and I think it just kind of skeezed people out. It
Oh,
just
interesting.
just kind of skeezy. You're
I've got
like,
an older-ish laptop. Mine still has a Touch ID, so I'm like totally used to it. But that's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, now it's just Face ID everywhere.
Yeah,
But
you're right. I
yeah, I
didn't
don't
even think
know.
about that transition, how hard that actually was. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, it makes me feel like I'm getting booked down at Central every time I open my laptop. Okay, well, do you have another prepared topic, or do we talk about, can we talk about the elephant in the room, at
We
least touch
have to
on
we
it?
have to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, maybe I'll let
Yeah.
you introduce it. I don't know. We have not talked at all, people, about
Mm-mm.
like our opinions. One of
Not
us might come out as a raging Trump fan. Like maybe his
That's
performance
true.
was so raw and authentic and amazing that we were just fucking
Mm.
moved. So okay, not me, but like let's hear
Mm.
it. What do you
Not me.
I
A-
have a new bone to pick with people related to
Oh,
the Trump thing. I'm just keying it up in my brain, but yeah, let's hear you first.
oh man, we were leaving to go to dinner, and Karen put it on, and we watched 5 sentences of it live.
Hmm,
And it was that moment where she goes, "You know what? I want you to go to a Trump rally."
good
I was
moment.
just like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Whew." You know, it was like, because I was sick to my stomach, kind of when it was like starting, because I'm like, oh, this thing again, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on there, you know. And she said that, and I couldn't. I literally, I literally walked away from the screen and went, "Damn!" You know, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I felt like a kid in a classroom. She, that was just really cool. And it was validating for me that the thing that I've been saying all along is that somebody's just got to get in there and start working the bag, you know. Like, you got to put some punches down. And she was just, she's so sassy, and like, just had great little one-liners, which is totally stealing his steez. She jacked his whole steez, like having slick little cool one-liners to just toss in. And I'm like, cool, now back it up with all of the important stuff. But it proves to me, my takeaway from all of it, just off, first glance, and listening to a lot of stuff, is that she is a skilled political operator, which was something that everybody, all of the kind of in more in the weeds, I think, political podcasts that I listen to, are that was just kind of in the milieu for a while. We're like, yeah, 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 yeah. But she doesn't seem like she's no Barack Obama, right? She's
Hmm.
not like a skilled political operator. And I thought the tactician in that, the prosecutorial kind of preparation for that, where she knew she just had to get shots off. And I was just so thrilled to see a Democrat roasting somebody, man. Like, it just, yeah, it warmed my heart for the Obama days. Obama the roaster in chief, man.
Just, I mean, this was actually the highlight, really, truly, was that she was able to bait him and he
Mhm,
took the
mhm.
bait every
Every
time.
time.
All he had to do was ignore her, and
Mhm,
his performance would have like doubled in quality. But he took the
mhm.
bait every single
Every
time,
time.
and I think that that goes into like the cluelessness of him as a person. How just like
Yeah,
he thinks that people
yeah.
like to hear about his rally sizes or
Mhm,
whatever. Like he thinks that that's like good content. And
mhm.
Chris Christie said in an interview today that I was listening to that like if Kamala Harris can bait him like that, think about what Putin can do. He like
Uh,
Trump's one like thing that he has that every Republican says is he is a strong man and world leaders are scared of him. It's like absolutely no, they are not. How dumb
Mhm.
are you to think that? I'm so sorry, but that is the dumbest talking point Republicans have. Happens to be their best point, but it's also their dumbest, like incidentally. And it's just like he's so easy to wrap around your little pinky. And I remember seeing this again and again and again when he was president. Is that all you have to do is just like say one nice thing about him. Donald, you're so strong and you're
The
so
leader of
tall.
North Korea, he was like,
Yeah,
yeah, nice guy. Met him, great guy. And you're just like, what? Because what did he call? Did he call you big dog?
he calls you like good boy, you know?
Did he give you the old big dog? Like what did he call you, chief?
Yeah, good hair or something.
I was
Yeah, it's
just
like
gonna say, did he say your skin looked nice that day? Like what the fuck? Yeah,
oh,
he's definitely just a creature of muzzle and hoof. You know what I mean? Like yeah, he really jacked into the id of the country, but I don't know, like most people don't live at that level. Most people can be accessed at that level, but even people who are undereducated or are uneducated in an academic way still, I think, enjoy having conversations that have degrees of complexity to them, emotional or comedic or whatever. And like
mhm,
Donald Trump's got like two gears. He's got funny, but it's a really specific kind of funny and just boring,
mhm.
and it's like, that's it. It's like angry slash funny or just like kind of nothing.
Yeah, and this is the whole thing is like this is the moment in the campaign when Republicans should be coming together and having actual legit criticisms of Kamala. Because there
Mhm,
are some for
mhm.
sure,
Oh,
but
yeah.
what they're saying, like every criticism to have of her, just goes right back at Donald in the same way and applies like tenfold in my mind anyway.
Mhm,
And like I feel like I barely even have to say these things, but like Kamala, it's like, oh, she's flip-flopped. And like for one, it's actually totally understandable because like she was this like tough on crime person. And then like in 2020, when she just happened to run for president because it just aligned, like that was the fucking year. No one in their right mind would have been like tough on crime. Fucking
mhm,
nobody. I'm so
mhm.
sorry. I don't care what your record was. Nobody's doing that. If you
No.
are, you're an absolute idiot. So anyway,
Yeah.
so she didn't. It's like duh. But then that's like the big thing. She flip flopped on that and key things. And I get it. Like it's an annoying thing. Politicians should be more consistent, like Bernie. You know what I mean? But dude,
They
Donald
could
Donald doesn't even just like land this plane. Like Donald doesn't only flip flop, he doesn't believe anything and he just throws out policies on the fly and then people believe like it's so fucking stupid and there's no comparison there that makes sense at all where Kamala comes out the loser in that comparison. Same with
Mhm.
any other criticism they have of her. And again, she's not perfect. I don't actually like politicians at all. I don't think that they are meant to be liked. I think they're meant to be critiqued. But
Mhm.
compared to Donald, I'm so sorry. Like, no, man. Like, the Republicans just have to get rid of Donald. They just have to. Give me something to actually work with here as
It's
someone who's
fun.
gonna like, yeah, critique my team.
It's fun to watch, man. I mean, they could torpedo her whole campaign if they all they have to do, and it's so funny because the Republican Party is still so deeply controlled by people that are very out of touch. But what happens when the Republican Party becomes like agile and can pivot? Or, I mean, if that ever happens, because dude, if they could spend $100 million going, Kamala is not gonna free Palestine. Like, boom, dude, like might turn the tide of the election. That's all young people care about.
No,
Like,
but
you
still,
know what
well, I
I
mean,
mean?
one, young people actually aren't voting on that. Supposedly, they're like this number seven for what they actually care about. Like, nobody
Really?
really cares yet. Actually, no one really cares. Aside from like, have you
You
seen like
think
where the protests are happening? There's a map of where they've happened.
mm-mm.
It's all at like five elite of the elite schools. It's just
So
rich kids'
you think
parents.
there's like a divide between the signaling and the actual like care? Because it is culturally,
Kids
it is
quote
a
unquote
cultural
care.
phenomenon.
They
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
care. But also the
Okay.
Israel issue has been here my whole life. It's going to be here for it's it's but anyway.
True.
Uh
This
but
is their
yeah, my whole
Vietnam,
thing is like
Peter.
this is again why they have to get rid of Trump because like he's worse on anything involving the Middle East. Like if your
Yeah.
deal is to like help out the Palestinians, dude, like Trump's just gonna sell him down the road, you know? He's
Trump
gonna
will do whatever is advantageous to him in that exact moment. That's what makes Trump it's like I think we all had this weird fantasy that Trump was like an evil mastermind or something, or had really any function. He's just doing the thing that makes him dangerous is that he's willing to pivot on a dime for really no reason that is discernible from the outside. It's totally internally motivated, or maybe by a very small cohort of people. And that is really the thing that makes him dangerous, is that he's just uh, an absolute insane person. He'll just make a decision based on anything in any moment. Like, that's insane.
You know what bugs me the most about him? Then I
Mm.
do want to get off Trump just a little bit because I know
Yeah, yeah,
everyone in
yeah.
the universe is talking about this, but like,
Right, right, right.
the thing that actually bugs me about him the most isn't that like how he potentially dangerous he could be or whatever.
Mm.
It's like how awesome he potentially could be.
Mm.
He's like Mr. Businessman
Oh,
who
right.
is like also Mr. Hollywood,
Could be
who
Mark
just like
Cuban.
convinced Republicans to put him in the
Mm.
White House when really he's not a
Right,
Republican. He never has been. Like no one's
right.
really fooled you. If you are, you're dumb. But like,
Mhm.
so he had like kind of this backstory where it's kind of like he could have built high-speed rail across America, just saying like fuck every regulation. If you stand in my way, fuck you. I'm gonna get
Right,
Congress bound. You know,
right, right.
high-speed rail could be here today. You know what I
Been
mean?
a
Or
real
we
New
could be on
York
the path
wall
to it.
buster. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like there's so many things, but he got hung up on immigration and
Mm,
tariffs.
mm.
I don't know, just like weird
Sure.
red meat stuff. I don't know. Tariffs aren't red meat. I don't even know what that is. But like, like why? Like, dude, why do you
It's
have
just
these shitty
fetishy
cultural
stuff.
grievances? Just like build shit and be awesome. Like he had that opportunity, blew it.
He could have been the Republican Mark Cuban. I feel like if Mark
Yes.
Cuban
Hmm.
gets in, I just saw an interview with him recently. I'm just like, oh man, this guy could be really like a cool business person and
Yeah.
leader. We
I'm
could use.
open to that for America. Totally, dude.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I think everybody low key kind of is, you know?
Yeah. I feel like
Not
my
everybody. Sorry. Sorry, socialists. You're not.
I feel like my big fear with Kamala is she seems like she maybe wouldn't mind dropping a few bombs. You know,
Mm.
I don't know. Trump also seems like he seems a little more reticent to start a foreign war, but he seems a little more likely to. You know what I mean? Like he seems like
Yeah.
more fearful of doing it, but probably could make a stupid decision that would precipitate it. Where Kamala, to me, has the energy of a person, especially with the way that she talks about the Israel-Palestine conflict, where she's very tactical about it. And I'm just kind of like, okay, like, ooh, we are entering this kind of very flexible moment right now, again, with our relationship to the Middle East and a broader war in that region. And oh, that one for me, I'm just kind of like, I could, based on her statements and energy around it so far, I could see her kind of towing into it uh, a bit.
This is the
I
weird
think.
thing is that like I actually and I'm so when she becomes if when she becomes president, I think that I'm gonna have a lot of critiques of her that are coming out
Mhm.
more, and like this will be probably one of them. Is that like
Mm.
I actually don't know. I'm worried about how hawkish she might be because
Yeah.
I just don't know
Hmm.
completely.
Hmm.
Because I do know that she's gonna do standard American things, protect NATO, protect our alliances. That's a big
Hmm.
deal. Probably do normal stuff, but like it's such a chaotic time right now. I
Yeah.
kind of don't feel comfortable having any sort of a hawk. I want someone who's gonna like make America the big bad bear on the block and be us. We should be absolutely intimidating, but
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
how I feel
Yeah.
too. And I feel, and to speak to your point too about Trump, I think that is such a huge miss because the message is kind of pretty on point. Like it's the messenger that's really fucking us because the kind of, fuck everybody else, let's kind of focus on the core group of people that we have here already and kind of figuring out systems here and blah blah blah. I mean, gosh, can we get the bizarro Trump that's Superman? That like is cool about all that shit.
Okay, so I have one more political topic that I want to get to.
Please,
And this is the thing that's just like, oh my God, it's so bugging me. I've had a couple of rants about this already, I think, maybe, but like, I'm gonna just get one out here.
please.
Okay, there is this group of people that I am so frustrated with, Devon. And I think
Mm,
that you feel my frustration, but I'll fill you out on it.
mm.
Okay, do you know like Matt Taibbi and like Michael Shellenberger, even
Hmm.
Elon Musk and Glenn Greenwald? There's this group of
Okay.
people that were on the left, like even like low key, kind of like far on
Yeah.
the left.
Hmm.
And this is kind of a quote of Matt Iglesias, your favorite. But he said like, "What's up with all these dudes like listing these people?"
Do the voice.
Oh man, I
What's
can't.
up with all these dudes?
Well, shout out Matt Iglesias.
Shout out Matt Iglesias.
Well, this is kind of his take. Is that what's up with all these like lefty
Hmm.
people who just skipped over being chill centrists and went
Hmm.
straight to like red meat, Republican
Andrew
conspiracy
Tate
theorists? What's up
that
with this?
got
Like,
red pilled.
yeah, be a chill centrist. You know what I mean? Like, just
Mhm.
stop there. And like Claire Lehman from Colette had a very similar comment about like all these people like Taibbi, etc. used to think that Colette was too far to the right, but then now they just like jumped over her, and now they're too like way farther to the right than Colette ever was. So my problem with these people is that okay, so this is the tweet that I wrote today, and this is what I want to get your thoughts on. Tell me if I
Yeah.
went too far here. People like Matt Taibbi, Michael Shellenberger, and Elon Musk have inadvertently made me trust institutions and the mainstream media way more than I used to. Their conspiracy brain takes are often so dim-witted, I can't help but to assume the best in those who they deem to be their enemies. Too far? Okay.
No, man, what a great way to put your finger on a sentiment because I think I might be feeling the same way. There's a dictatorship that's happening, that there's a level of bureaucracy in any organization that actually does kind of level everything out. There's
Mm.
too much and there's too little. But yeah, when one person's at the top and they're running stuff, you really just see that's not really the way we built this country. That's not because we don't really think that that works. Like I guess entrepreneurship in a certain sense, but the entire government is like intentionally bureaucratic to diffuse everything. Everything gets diffused. And when it's so distilled in a single person, yeah, for me, that is why I feel like uh maybe mainstream media, yeah, I mean, anything that has to go through multiple layers before it gets out feels better than uh, the world that Elon Musk wants to make, the non-technological world, the social reality that maybe he would want to make.
Yeah, totally. Like I just have that instinct where whoever is being ridiculous, I do just like react to that. And I think a lot of people, this is how like Matt Taibbi was created. So I do want to be careful of this instinct or whatever. But like I react against him. You know what I mean? Like he was a
Mhm.
person I wanted to agree with. I even like Michael Shellenberger. I interviewed him before when he was running for governor of California. I like the dude. You know what I mean? And a lot of what he
Mhm.
does is very provocative and not necessarily in a bad way. But like he just says too much dumb shit. And Matt Taibbi had an article after the debate about how there's a conspiracy or whatever, where all the mainstream media outlets conspired to make it look like Kamala won the debate. Did she really? And like she makes this really like dumb bullshit argument about it that Shate in the Intelligencer New York Mag kind of like debunked his like logic, and it was very easy to like see through. But like that's so stupid. Like there's a conspiracy just to like Kamala won the debate. You know what I mean? I feel like I would
Yeah.
so happily say not, but like everybody, even Republicans are saying, oh well, actually there was a poll. I should say, Newsmax, 93% of Newsmax viewers thought Trump won the debate. So maybe Matt
No,
Taibbi should be more worried about
it's
that.
just the depraved craving for attention. People will seriously contort themselves into any shape they
Yeah.
think might get them a single scrap of online love, baby.
There is one more conspiracy brained idiot that I have to call out just a little bit. Just oh man, we have better things to talk about, but this does bug me. Brett Weinstein.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so his
The
take on the
mathematician.
that's his brother
No, that's
Eric.
Eric. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No,
Eric
wait,
is
what's
still
Brett
kind of
do?
chill. I'm kind of chill with Eric because he is patently smart. But his brother Brett is the one who's like Looney Tunes, and
Hmm.
his take after the debate. Okay, so Kamala was wearing these like pearl earrings.
Oh, the Bluetooth earrings.
Yeah, and so like he was saying, Brat Steak is so stupid that a lot of his friends fell for or she wore these earrings so that a lot of his friends personally would fall for the idea that they were Bluetooth earrings where they really weren't. And so like someone tweeted a
Mm.
summary of this. My favorite new flavor of conspiracy theory is a conspiracy or that conspiracy, where they trick conspiracy theorists into believing conspiracy theories. It's just like it's so
It's
stupid, and you have to
beautiful.
contort yourself even to like get what he's talking about because you. Oh, but my God. But yeah, there's so
Just
much
it's
shit
it's just
drives me fucking crazy.
it's like a rat knot or crabs in a bucket or something, dude. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got to get their little scrap in, even if they've got nothing to say or nothing really to add. Fuck, maybe that's us.
I feel like I though, and you for
Mm,
sure, we're willing to just like see new evidence and then just
sure.
and in the meantime, when we're changing our views about things, also not like say there's a massive conspiracy that led us one way or the other. It's just like the world is complicated. There's a
Hmm.
lot going on. We all have
Hmm.
weird ideologies, that
Hmm.
we layer on top of whatever's going. It's so complicated, but don't think everyone's out to get you because you are at some level like a paranoid like not living on planet Earth type of person after a little while.
Hmm. Hmm. Peter.
Okay, man. You got anything else?
um, I do not.
Okay, later.
All right. We'll talk soon, man.